Hi, this is Brandon Smiley from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the tuck jump to box jump. This is essentially one of our plyometric progressions that we use here at Thirst. And we're basically going to jump in place and then jump on the box. We've kind of talked about the hurdle hop and the depth drop and all those different box jump variations that we have. And this is just one that you can add in that repertoire to mix things up. The thing I like about this is that as we jump, we're going to go through some hip flexion as well. So, if you got people like hurdlers or whatever, they need to actually have some flexion over things, or they need to jump as high as they can, and you're trying to improve ground contact time by decreasing ground contact time, then this is something that you might be for you or your athletes. I would definitely say this is a little bit more advanced, so if you've got younger populations, this is probably not one of the progressions that you'll opt to use. You'll probably just do regular hurdles or just regular jumps in general. So like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to jump as high as we can, and as many tuck jumps as you want to put in your training program. By no means do you have to do just one. I'm going to show like 1 or 2 tuck jumps and then the box jump. But by all means, you can make it 3, 4, 5 if you really wanted to before they do their box jump. So just keep that in mind. That's a personal preference. So we're essentially going to have our body weight jump, but we're going to bring our knees up with this as we do that, and then as we hit the ground, we're going to go again, and then eventually we're going to jump on the box. So I'm going to be here. And then stick my landing, step off, and then you would just go again. So as I jump, I want to get my knees as high as I can, and then after I hit the ground, go again, until I get on the box. So another thing you could do with this is, if you wanted to have a reaction-based component to it and try to make it a little bit more quote-unquote sport-specific, to where there's some cognitive function, you could basically have your client or your athlete do the tuck jumps until they hear an audible or a visual, and then they got to jump. So they're learning to have to produce force and immediately go with that maximal jump. Something like volleyball, for example, kind of comes to mind, where you have to jump and react to something that you see / or hear. The way that you would want to think about this when you're programming it, though, is how many times you're hitting the ground with your box jump. So if you've got 3 tuck jumps and a box jump, you've essentially got 4 jumps. So you're not going to want to do 4 sets of 6, because you got 4 jumps for every 6 reps. That's 24 ground contacts. For us, that's kind of like the low to mid range of what we want in the individual session, and that's just 1 set. So by all means, that could be potentially where you are if your kid or your athlete's not doing anything. But most of our kids are practicing and playing sports, and there's tons of ground contacts that we're not able to count and keep control of. So we keep ours on the lower side of things, especially if we know they're doing those things. And if we know they're not, then we start to crank those ground contacts up to make up for the fact that they're not happening outside in sport. But that's just one thing you need to keep in mind with this, probably a little bit just like you do with your depth drops and your hurdles and things like that. But for us, 3, 5, 6 sets, somewhere in that range, and usually 2 to 3 repetitions depending upon the number of tuck jumps that we got before we have our box jump. So if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section. Thanks, have a great day.